Yes, guys, this is our World Cup team of the tournament. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. I think this is going to be a very interesting discussion because I know I'm right.
This guy's ball knowledge is dead-in. We're gonna compare our two team of the tournaments of this World Cup. Amazing World Cup. Lots of breakout players, new talent, old talent showing their quality. So let's get right into it.
Yeah, let us know who's got the better team. Make sure you like, subscribe, and of course follow. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's get straight into the goalkeeper. For me, this is pretty straightforward. Lots of pretty good goalkeeping performances in this World Cup. But for me, it's got to be Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez, I think he just came way too big for Argentina in this tournament. Argentina went into penalties with the Netherlands. They went into penalties with France. Two penalty shootouts, and you always looked like Argentina was going to win those penalty shootouts. Emi Martinez, very good from the spot. He was just quality. And not even to mention that unbelievable 120th minute save on Kolo Muani to not lose the World Cup final. That was just unreal. Probably the best save of World Cup history from the top of my head. So it's got to be Emi for me.
Interesting. I actually didn't have him. It wasn't in the top of my mind. You know why? Because I had Bono from Morocco.
Okay, fair.
Just because of the sole fact that it's just historic, and he was the focal piece of that team. He made insane saves. The way that Morocco played, everyone behind the ball. Every single time they were getting peppered, he was there to save massive saves against every single opponent they came across up until the end. So I had Bono in as my keeper, but
Bono from Sevilla, pretty crucial player for Morocco. Obviously, the penalty shootout against Spain was a historic win for them. I can't even hate that pick. Emi for me, just because specifically because of the final, but Bono is definitely a good shout. I can't lie.
All right, yeah.
We can move on to the right back. I'm interested to see who you have.
All right. Right back, following Morocco, it's got to be Hakimi.
Okay, I was just wondering. Yeah, I got the same, to be fair.
He's probably top 5 in the world, let alone
I'd say top 3, to be honest.
Cup.
I'd say top 3.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's got pace. He's got the defensive capabilities. He's obviously an attacking threat. But, the way that he fit in this Morocco team, he was, again, kind of like Bono, he was pivotal in the way that they played. So it's got to be him, 100%.
Yeah, there's no arguing. He was crucial. He was bombing up and down the pitch for Morocco. Probably one of the best players of the tournament. Top 3, I'd say, for them.
Yeah.
So, it's got to be him. We can move on to the center back partnership. I'm going to say my center back partnership, elite partnership. Probably a partnership that we'll see at Manchester City very soon. Nathan Ake is my first center back.
Wow.
And I've got Guardiola as partnering him on the other side. Yeah, 2 elite center backs in this World Cup. I think Nathan Ake was the Dutch's best defender throughout the tournament. I think he outperformed Van Dijk, Timber. He was just elite every time I watched them play. Defensively, Netherlands were very good. I think that's why they got to the quarterfinals. They weren't really that great going forward, so defensively they had to be solid. Nathan Ake was at the heart of that. And then Gvardiol, not much to be said.
There's everyone who's making a team of the tournament has to have this guy in. He's 20 years old. He was pivotal in Croatia's run. Similarly to, how I said with Hakimi, Croatia at the heart was Gvardiol the whole time. He looked like a menace with the mask on, masked up.
Yeah, to be fair though, he looked tough. It's an iconic World Cup performance from him. Croatians will probably remember it forever because he was elite. But who do you have?
I've got Gvardiol as well, and it's tough because I did slander this guy, and it's hard for me to admit this, but I think it's got to be Otamendi.
Yeah, that's fair.
Otamendi, he's up there in age. I know that for a fact. People wrote him off at the end of his Manchester City career. He didn't do as great as people hoped, or similarly to how Claudio Bravo ended his career at Manchester City. It was kind of everyone turned against him.
Whoa, you're capping right now. You're capping.
What do you mean?
Bravo was like the villain at the beginning of his Manchester City career.
No.
Yeah, because when we first signed him, he was our starting keeper, and he was an absolute bot.
He was good.
He was a bot.
He came straight from Barcelona.
No, you're losing memory right now, bro. He came from Barcelona, and he literally single-handedly destroyed our defense. He was so bad. Eventually, Ederson came in. He became our second string, and then Bravo was like a great tournament keeper. So he left as he started out as the villain.
I don't know about
Otamendi was the opposite. Otamendi came in. He was unbelievable under Pep. Pep completely transformed him. his partnership with John Stones and company in the 17-18 season. For me, Otamendi was the best center back in the league that year. Obviously he started to fall off. That 1920 season, he was absolutely horrendini, and then we ended up just straight swapping him with Ruben Diaz. So, but yeah, I mean, in this tournament, Otamendi was elite.
Yeah.
Partner, regardless if you threw Lissandro or Romero next to him, he was elite for them. So yeah, I can't even hate on that.
Can't hate.
Moving on to the left back though, I don't know, not many left backs impressed me in the tournament, but I'm just gonna have to throw in Theo Hernandez in there.
Yeah, it's gotta be Theo.
Yeah, to be honest, just because like
semifinal goal, pivotal again.
I think 1 or 2 assists throughout the tournament. Defensively, he was good, and not even mentioning the fact that he probably wasn't even a starter going to the tournament. He had to fill in.
Surprising though.
Yeah, I would say surprising, but I mean, Lucas Hernandez is very good defensively, so I understand. But Deschamps probably had something cooking with that. But I mean, he filled in with his first brother, who unfortunately tore his ACL like 10 minutes into the World Cup.
Yeah, that's
so. I mean, Theo for me was a solid performance, so he's got to be in.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be Theo, Mbappe, and Theo Hernandez. That's like an insane combination of speed on that left hand side. He does have that fraudulence when he's playing defense. So I mean, I guess I could see how Deschamps had his reservations with him, but I mean, he was so good when he was on the ball. He's so good at carrying the ball. That's his 100% his specialty. Obviously, he had Mbappe with him, so pairing that speed with speed is just unbearable. And of course, that goal that sent France into a confident game in the semifinal and on to the final. So it had to be him. Yeah. Always him.
So that's our defense. We can move on to the midfield. I think this is going to be somewhat straightforward, to be honest. I mean, I got pretty much like...
What were you doing? How many center mid CDMs?
I mean, just throw in 3 midfielders, like okay. Whatever you want. Doesn't have to be insanely balanced. For me, I've got like a 6 and 2 8s.
Okay.
So I threw in Amrabat as my 6.
Yeah, same.
I think that's pretty straightforward. He was elite. Probably, I mean, for me, he was Morocco's best player. Yeah. He was all over the place.
He was one of the breakouts.
Yeah, one of the breakout players of the tournament. I mean, not many people knew him, I'd say, before the tournament. Yeah. He was just elite everywhere on the pitch. And then in my 2 8 spots, I've got Enzo Fernandez. And I've got Jude Bellingham right next to him.
I think I have the same.
You've got the same midfield. I'm a bit annoyed about that, but
I've got the same. There's nowhere else to pick.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham started off the whole entire tournament like red hot.
Yeah. Group stage, he was elite.
Header, like an insane header. I mean, even in the quarterfinals against France, he played out of his mind. Same with Declan Rice, who I think he's got an honorable mention.
No, Declan Rice for sure honorable mention for that midfield. I mean, I think people are completely underrating him. In that France game, he was so elite. For me, Declan Rice was probably the best player in that France-England game.
He was
so elite on the ball. The way he was checking in, receiving the ball, defensively, he was unreal. Like, he bossed that midfield. Unfortunately, Kane had to sky that penalty. But yeah, I mean, Declan Rice, honorable mention for sure. Bellingham was just too elite throughout the tournament to not put him in.
Yeah, 100%. And I think another honorable mention for me, if everything turned out right and if France had won the game and he had scored the penalty, was Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni, for me, was out of his mind. He was playing crazy.
Yeah.
He had to fill in massive shoes with Kanté and Pogba out. And this was, his first tournament with France?
Yeah.
Filled in perfectly, slotted himself in perfectly. He was very imposing in that midfield. And, of course, he scored that banger against England. So, I mean, he was doing everything right. But then, the final, he kind of disappeared. And then he choked his penalty. So
yeah, I'm agree with that. Tchouaméni throughout the tournament, very good. But yeah, unfortunate for him to miss that penalty. And then we got Enzo Fernandez. He obviously won a young player of the tournament.
Yeah.
Probably the breakout player of the tournament.
Yeah, for me, it has to be.
Yeah, this guy went from, he's super young, went from, pretty much a nobody at Benfica, and now everyone knows his name, and now he's got, speculations of $100 million price tag. Yeah. So, I mean, this guy went from 0 to 100 in the span of a month. Well-deserved. I mean, he wasn't even a starter coming into the tournament, gets thrown into this Argentine midfield, and he completely owned it, and, a big part of the reason why they won the tournament.
Yeah, he looks so experienced out there. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just one of those players that, you see him play once and you know that he's got that it factor. So, tough for, who was it, Benfica that has him right now. He's not going to stay there for very much longer.
I mean, they're going to secure the bag though, so
yeah, but the fans will probably be frustrated with that. But nonetheless, we can go on to left wing. Is there anything really to say about left wing? It's got to be Mbappe.
Killy.
8 goals this tournament. Only 23. Hat trick in the final. Ice in his veins to score 2 penalties in a final where he's coming up against the best penalty shot stopper in the world.
Probably.
And he sends them both the wrong way. Or no, fair play to Emmy. He did predict one of them at least.
Yeah.
But there's just too much power on them. I was trying to compare him to what Harry Kane did to what Mbappe did. And you can see, like, Harry Kane, his first penalty, he positions the ball, he goes back, and then he goes back to the ball again to reposition it. You can just tell his body language is just not there. Mbappe, just full of confidence, full of composure, just both times, just slots them in.
Yeah, I mean, Mbappe took 3 penalties in that game, and I mean, he slotted every single one in the same spot. I think he learned a valuable lesson from when he missed that penalty against Switzerland in the Euros when knocking France out. Kane, he's got to take a lesson from his book. Kane obviously banged that first penalty, and second penalty, I think he tried to go in the same spot and just hit it wrong. Mbappe was just elite.
Yeah, so strikers, I think this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, you better not say who I think you're going to say, bro.
Well, like, if we're saying Messi's a striker, then obviously it's Messi,
nah.
But
I put Messi on my right.
I don't know.
I put Messi on my right. Look.
Okay, so Messi's right. Everyone has Messi. Yeah. There's not really to talk about for Messi.
Yeah.
Strikers, for instance, I don't know. This is a hard one. What do you have?
I put Julian Alvarez in there. I put Julian Alvarez simply because I don't think there were that many standout strikers in the tournament. And for me, Julian Alvarez is up there for, breakout player of the tournament simply because he came into this World Cup, as a straight bench player. Lautaro Martinez was a striker. Everyone thought that he was going to partner Messi this entire tournament. Lautaro drops a stinker in the first game, and Julian Alvarez gets thrown into the team, and Lionel Scaloni never looked back. So, I mean, and then he, it's not like he was just sitting there trying to provide for Messi, pressuring for no reason. He provided goals, assists, crucial goals and assists in the semifinals. So yeah, it's got to be Julian Alvarez for me.
Yeah, I think he was a good secondary striker just because Messi, he was always playing that role, that main striking role, of course.
I don't really think so, though, because, if we're talking about striker, you're talking about someone who's going to always be in the box. Messi was dropping deep a lot. Messi was kind of everywhere, which is why I kind of threw him on the right.
I don't know. It's weird. It's strange.
I think Messi was playing that second striker role rather than Alvarez. Alvarez
for me,
striker.
Alvarez for me is just not a classic striker, obviously.
How?
I just don't. He's just like, I don't know. He's like a Di Maria in my eyes.
What?
The way he plays.
Bro, what are you talking about? They have no similarities.
I think they do.
No, Julian Alvarez is literally like Aguero reincarnated. Like,
no.
How?
Aguero is way more imposing on the game than Julian.
Imposing in how? Imposing in what way?
He got more involved in the game, 100%.
Julian Alvarez has no issues getting involved with the game.
I didn't see him too much on the ball at all. I don't think I saw a lot of movement out of him. That just could be because of Argentina, the way they play, but definitely not my striker of the tournament. I think if we're talking about striker of the tournament, it's the person that shocked everyone the most, who made the most buzz, who was the most impactful on their team, the one who was, necessary for their team to, advance, and it's got to be Richarlison.
Dude, nah. End the video. Hey, subscribe. Bro, are you serious right now?
Yes, I'm serious.
Dude, you cannot be serious.
He's striker of the tournament.
In what way? Brazil flopped out of the quarterfinals.
Not his fault. He got subbed out when
rightfully so. He was literally ghosted in that game versus Croatia. Absolutely ghosted. He had one good goal in the opener against Serbia, which was a good goal. His scissor kick was only happened because of his bad first touch.
Don't say that.
It was a bad first touch. Any good striker, takes a better first touch and just finishes that. Obviously, it's a great goal at the end of the day, but it was a bad first touch.
If we're talking about impact, it's got to be him.
I'm telling you right
Point
now,
blank.
if Gabriel Jesus was Brazil's starting striker, you guys wouldn't have lost to Croatia. You guys wouldn't have lost to Croatia. There's no chance. You have Richarlison up there. What do you expect?
Yes, guys, make sure you guys like that video, subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and catch y'all later.